Anyway, so we need to talk about something. Yes, I am. And any judgments, you can go. I don't give a fuck. The end. Anyway, so I grew up in a community that really encouraged us to go to school, go to college, right? And I did 2 times, okay? But what happens is you're in a community where they didn't. I grew up in a community where they didn't. Either they went, they didn't finish, they went later and finished, or they didn't go at all. The ones that did go, most of them weren't around because they know you got to get the fuck out. Okay, they understood. So they were where they were supposed to be. Okay, but that time where, and I got the fuck out late. Okay, but that time where you're going to school, because college is about so much more than what you learn in the classroom. College is about expanding your mind, expanding your beliefs, meeting other new people that are outside of the world that you live in. So you learn a lot just through that experience alone, right? But your mind is expanding beyond what your community's mind is. Does that make sense? If y'all feel me, like, you gotta tell me. So, like, the issue is that they always want to keep you small. First of all, they're going through their own issues, internal challenges with where they've gone in life. And for a lot of us, they're looking at us and they're reflecting on their own lives, but then they have to compensate by making it like what we did wasn't that big of a deal when this is what you pushed for so long anyway, right? And I'll give an example of this. My little brother, he's adopted, and I took an adoption class. One, because our process with him is what really led me to social work. So I come home and I'm like, hey, we're talking about what these, like, keeping secrets can do to a kid, and I think we really need to have some conversations with him about what's going on, how's he feeling, we need to be honest. And their response is, no, you don't need to tell us that. Now, I'm the one in school getting the education to be able to do these things right. But it's the constant, like, no. Like, you don't get to be that grown up or you don't get to have input, because to us, you're still just this little girl. You're not this adult woman, young adult woman who is getting a higher knowledge, right? And it just doesn't get acknowledged. So one thing that this brings to mind, I definitely should have just done a live, but it was just giving me so much trouble. If y'all really want to talk about this, then I'll work on getting a live up, either TikTok or Instagram. But it made me second guess myself a lot. Like, maybe what I'm learning isn't worth that much. Maybe I'm still not good enough for them to listen to me and hear my ideas. Now, they did turn back around and go talk to him. But do you think that was ever acknowledged to me? No. Okay, we thought about what you said and you were right. And now we're going to have this conversation. Would you like to be part of the conversation? What other things do you think we should know? They're not asking that shit. And the crazy thing is, like, in most Black families, it's Black History Month. In most Black families, you don't get that until you have kids or get married. Get married, have kids, maybe we'll consider you halfway an adult. Or halfway, might have something valid to say. But for me, I ain't having no kids at all. And I really don't plan on getting married. So it's like, I finally had to learn, Khia, you succeed on your own terms. This is your life. Like, it really doesn't matter what they say or when they will finally give that to you. None of that matters. But what do you think? In what ways are you validating yourself that you got these degrees? You can't keep trying to prove to them I'm a big girl, because they ain't never gonna see it. If they finally do at some point, it's too late. But that, I know, has caused me a lot of anxiety, is everything had to be about them and what they wanted, and could I finally be seen as doing enough in their eyes? Answer, fuck no. Fuck no. Ask me how many celebrations there were for me. Let's say graduations, those kinds of things where there's a whole crowd getting together to celebrate you. Oh, we have no problem with that, because that's other people seeing us celebrate our kid. And that's really where a lot of my anxiety came from, was I never felt like it could be enough. It was, I had coaches say, coaches and a therapist that have said, Khia, you need to celebrate yourself. You need to look at what you're doing that's successful. I had no fucking clue. And now when I look back, I'm like, Khia, you were doing so much and you quit for what? Because the only time that it was acknowledged by the people that I wanted to see me was when other people are clapping for me. But what about the quiet wins? What about when I did just a little bit better? What about when I got my license, my clinical license? Then I got it in another state, and there's no nothing. And so I sadly, unfortunately, just had to give up on looking for that because it was just keeping me down and depressed on myself and believing that I couldn't do anything because I waited on somebody else to tell me I did a good job, but I know I did a motherfucking good job. Struggling, disorders that I didn't realize that I had at the time, when I should have been getting help and support, but I wasn't, because we decided that kids' mental health doesn't matter, that Black mental health that doesn't exist. Struggling, but still managing to get that shit done. Even was on Dean's list in college, at one point, and I was so lost. There are so many things that community couldn't even teach me about how to manage this world, yet they're expecting me to excel when they haven't even done it. But that's who you end up looking at yourself through. Sometimes you got to let them see you how they see you, and you find how you see yourself, because that is what's most important. Over everything and everybody is, how do you feel about yourself and what you're doing in the world every day? They can tell me all day I can't talk about parenting. You know what? I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to talk about it, because you need to hear it. Because God gave me this and I can't do anything else about it. And when you finally learn that it's about you, it's about you, it's so much easier. I promise. That depression.